The man suddenly realized the sand around him was sinking rapidly. He kept calling out to his friends for help, but as they approached, they found the quicksand expanding continuously. In a matter of seconds, a huge deep hole appeared. His friends immediately get a towel, attempting to pull him out, but even with all their might, they couldn't free him from the quicksand. Instead, he sank deeper. The situation became extremely dire. At that moment, a girl riding a bike noticed them. Hearing their cries for help, she quickly ran towards them, then found a skateboard, supporting her body with it. To prevent herself from slipping down, she instructed the other two to hold onto her legs. Then she grabbed the man's hand. But no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't move him. As if an invisible force was pulling him in the quicksand, the girl told them to fetch the tubing from her bike lock. Then she handed it to the man, ready to help him breathe with it. But at that moment, the quicksand collapsed again, engulfing the man entirely. Just as the situation became critical, the rescue team arrived. The captain immediately ordered his team to pull out an iron rope. Then they extended it into the quicksand. With everyone's collective effort, they finally located the man and successfully pulled him out. The man suddenly realized noticed a girl playing with a grenade. At first, he thought it was a toy. Upon closer inspection, he clearly saw that the girl was indeed holding a grenade. Thinking about the potential consequences if it were to detonate. To prevent panic, he quietly approached the girl, ready to snatch the grenade when she least expected it. Unexpectedly, the girl pulled the pin at that moment. The man swiftly ran towards her, snatched the grenade from her hand, and with all his strength threw it into the sea. The huge explosion instantly startled everyone, causing panic. The girl was trembling in fear. The man quickly comforted her not to be afraid. However, he noticed once again that another boy was holding a grenade. He hurried towards the boy, and using the same method seized it from him, then safely placed it on the beach. Luckily, the boy hadn't pulled the pin yet, as others gathered around. No one understood why there were grenades on the beach, leaving the man puzzled. It seemed unsafe to stay any longer. As people began to evacuate, something even stranger happened. The man suddenly
These two kids buried his father.
The girl was playing on the water slide. The next The woman exerted all her strength to give birth to the baby, but what came out was a premature infant still enclosed in the amniotic sac. However, the doctor didn't rush to save the baby, they just pushed the baby aside. It wasn't that they didn't want to save the baby, but the survival rate for a 22-week-old infant was very slim. To spare the baby from suffering, the parents had already signed an agreement to give up resuscitation. They only wanted the baby to pass away peacefully, but soon the doctor was surprised to find
he's alive.
And he's active.
They immediately performed a secondary delivery on the baby. As the amniotic sac was cut open, the baby finally officially entered the world. However, after being examined by a neonatologist, the doctor regretfully said this baby couldn't be viable, after all weighing only 490 grams. Most of the baby's organs were underdeveloped.
This baby's not going to survive. The best we can do is make him comfortable.
At this moment, the baby's mother went to the doctor. She begged the doctor to save her child. She didn't want to give up the baby, but the baby was too young. With the current medical level, the chance to save the baby was very slim. The mother was distraught. She wanted to hug her baby. However, the baby suddenly choked. The woman exerted all her strength to test the rifle's range. The boy picked up the gun and aimed it at a distance to her bus. Tragically, the bullet pierced through the glass and hit an American tourist. Just a moment ago, their father had bought them a rifle so they could protect their goats from jackals. The two brothers took the gun and prepared to herd the goats. To test if the rifle's bullet could reach 1.8 miles, the two brothers each fired a shot at a distant approaching bus.
Never ever say this word to firefighters.
No, pretty quiet.
The firefighter was immediately frightened. It's like lunch won't happen either, but the worst part is the woman lying on the operating table suddenly sat up, and then half of her face fell off.
My face is off! My face is off!
Meanwhile, the team reported that all the doctors and nurses were normal, but for some reason they were all unconscious. At this point, the captain noticed that the hospital's anesthesia pipeline was in the wall, and observed that the woman seemed not to feel any pain, suspecting a leakage of the hospital's anesthesia. But the team was curious about why the woman was unharmed. The captain explained that she wore an oxygen mask during the surgery. The woman mentioned hearing